Okay, so this is quite interesting. Obviously, the PlayStation Portal, it's a remote play streaming device and nothing else. But at its heart, it is an Android device. It can run code, it can play games, it can run emulators, but it's simply not a part of Sony's feature set. However, the PlayStation Portal has now been hacked by some Google security researchers, by the look of it. Actually, looking at the guy who does it, he's actually done a number of exploits for PlayStation equipment in the past. And so it's interesting to see that we've now got an emulator running on the portal. So, John, why don't you tell us more about this?
Yeah, so it seems like he has PPSSPP, which I always imagined was meant to be spoken out loud with an echo, like PSP or something like that. But they have that running natively on the portal, uh, which is, I think, actually fantastic. In that
Yeah,
it's
it's a proof of concept.
right. It's the first example we have of actual gaming based software running natively on this hardware, which is something we had thought about. You know, the idea of turning this into like an emulator system. It's got a nice big screen. The controls we can expect are quite good since it is essentially a dual sense. The only question I have here, and I'm trying to find if there's an answer to it, is the storage. Like
Right,
Oh,
it's
it
got
was very
six
small. It
gigs.
was like 6 gigs. Yeah, that
Yeah,
he
thanks,
said
Rich.
it needs about 6 gigs of internal storage. Is that how
it's got six
much? That's how
gigs.
much it has.
That's how much is available for them to
Ah,
work
yeah.
with.
So they have
Very,
six
very
gigabytes to work.
small.
So that's very, very small, but at the same time, it's workable enough for a fair amount of stuff like
Yeah, older games,
older games.
PSP, PS1. I mean, what's the problem? It's plenty of
Well, I
space.
mean, to get them running, you wouldn't be able to store that many of them on there at that. But
That's the
if you
issue
delve
mainly.
into
Yeah.
like say older like 16-bit machines, not there's a million ways to play that stuff now, but still, you could potentially store a lot more stuff on there. But yeah, just having it function as something else, the fact that it could potentially be cracked open in this way kind of makes it just more useful because I feel like as it is, it's an accessory that doesn't work. It doesn't work as well as it should, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's basically a case of untapped potential, right? Because it's a reasonable mid-range chipset in there. It's running on Android. There's no reason why it couldn't be running all of those PlayStation classics that were on the
That's
PlayStation Store.
that's
You
my
know,
feeling, and I feel like they really missed a trick there. Where if this had released and say, yeah, this streams PS5, but also it has access to the full range of PlayStation classics, for instance.
yeah.
So you get PS1
Mm-hmm.
games, PS2 games, you know, that would be an awesome way to expand the value of it, let people play with it natively, and then it becomes sort of a more of a portable system because right now it's not actually a portable system. You basically can't use it outside of your house. Trying to do so produces even worse results than when you're right next to the system.
Yeah, that's true. It is all based on streaming, right? So the quality. I mean, this is the whole bone of contention with the portal is that the quality of the experience scales according to how good your internet connection is, or basically how good your Wi-Fi network is. But even then, there are hard set limits which limit its potential. So the concept of being able to actually be able to run uh, software locally does have much to commend it. And yeah,
Right.
it could become a really nice, legacy PlayStation software player that you could take to work or on your commute or whatever, which you can't really do now. So yeah, this is obviously a very welcome development, even if it is wholly unofficial. They are pointing out that it is going to be there's no official release for this exploit yet, and there's still apparently a lot of work to do. And apparently, it took them a month of hard work to actually quote unquote crack the PlayStation
Whew,
Portal.
okay.
So yeah, I'll be interested to see how this develops and when there is actually going to be an official release. But once there is, I guess it's going to be weapons free on emulation, and
That's
yeah,
what
we
we
could see
want.
some really interesting results there. Because fundamentally, there's a lot to commend this device. The controller is a dual sense effectively, so it's a good controller. The screen, it's an LCD. It's nice. It's a good screen, 1080p. Color reproduction is fine for an LCD. I've got no real issues with that. It's just the fact that it's just a streaming only
Yeah.
remote
But then
client has always been the issue.
even in this current environment though, when I think about it, it's like, oh yeah, I think that's neat. but would I still want one? Probably not. I mean, there's nothing that you could do on here better than what you would get on, say, a Steam Deck OLED right now. Right?
Or just
No.
a,
There's just no,
yeah,
there's,
yeah.
you can already stream PS5 to a Steam Deck, I believe,
Yes.
and
I
better
mean, it is a
quality.
different class of device, one might argue.
But
Um,
technically, yes. But when you look, the price of these the Portal is still pretty high, I think, considering what it does. And if you find like a used Steam Deck LCD model, you can often get those down closer to that price even. And I feel like that's
yes.
just a much better thing to purchase.
So much more utility
There's
there.
so much
Like
more
you
to it.
can do PC
You can do
gaming
whatever
on
you
it.
want on
You
that
can
thing,
do
basically.
emulating games on it. You can stream
Yeah.
off
And
from
like
it.
the
You can do
emulation
so
stuff on
much.
Steam Deck, I have fiddled with that some. Like getting Model 3 emulation running on that thing and then integrating them into the Steam Deck OS so that it just looks like it's a Steam game and you're just running it and now you're playing Daytona 2 on your Steam Deck with
Right.
native res for the game, integer scaled up to the full screen. Like it's an awesome experience. Man, I love the Steam Deck.
Mm-hmm.
What a machine. I'm still professing my love for that thing.
That's
I'm
great.
very happy about that, John, because the conversion process to get you on board, I mean, it literally required a hardware redesign.
I said it all those months ago, back before that. It's like I'm not buying this until there's an OLED model, and then they did it.